In our final example, we're going to use a matrix equation to help us solve one of the problems about cell phones. Allison took a survey in her high school to see which class sent the most text messages, pictures, and talked for the most minutes on their cell phones each week. The averages for the freshmen through seniors are shown. So this number here says, on average, freshmen sent out 20 texts. This number 7 says the juniors, on average, sent out 7 pictures, and so on. If each text message costs 10 cents, and each picture costs 75 cents, and each minute on the phone costs 5 cents, find the average weekly phone cost for each class. And we're going to express our answer as a matrix. So what we want to do is we want to find the total cost for each class. So what we could do, and this is thinking outside of a matrix, to find the total for a freshman, we'd have to take the 20 times 10 cents, we'd have to take this times 75 cents, we'd have to take this times 5 cents, and get our total. Right? Then we'd have to do 10 cents times the sophomores, and 75 cents times pictures, and then 5 cents. We're going to do this repeatedly for every class. But we're asked to use our matrices, and can we come up with a matrix equation to help us simplify this? So what I'm thinking of in my first step here is, how can I get this to model a matrix? I want to get a total for my classes. So I want to use the matrix X to represent my freshman total. So I want my freshman total here, I want my soph total here, and I want my junior and senior total here, seniors. To get these totals, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to take the freshmen's text times 10, then their pictures by 10, and so on for all of these. So to find our matrix X, what I'm going to do is I'm saying my matrix X, my total matrix, is going to be equal to, well, I got to take 10 cents times every one of these freshman, sophomore, junior text messages. So it's 20, 25, 15, and 22. I want to add that to, clumsy here, I want to add that to my second cost, which is 75 cents for every, and this was our text, and this one's going to be our pictures. So now I've got to take 75 cents times 3, 4, 7, 3. I want to add that to the cost for phone calls, and it's 5 cents for every minute of phone call usage, and that is 163, 170, 178, make absolutely sure, yep, 178, and 190. So I can use the scalar multiplication concept that we looked at earlier to help us figure out how much money each class is spending on text, how much money they're spending on pictures, and how much money they're spending on phone calls. So what we're going to do is we're going to do and multiply all these by the scalars. So that's going to be $2, $2.50, $1.50, and $2.20. And since we're dealing with cost, I just will put in the dollar signs. So this $2 represents how much our freshmen spent on text. This is the sophomores, this is the juniors, and the seniors. If we want to add that to get our total cost, well, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to run the other calculations and put them in there, and then we'll find our total cost. Okay, after a little effort, we got all of our calculations in, so now we know how much each grade level spends on text, pictures, and phone calls. So this is our pictures and phone calls. So now if we want to know what's the total amount that each class spent, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, now we simply add those rows together. So we're going to add these rows together to figure out our total cost for each of them. And I'm going to take a little time out here. I'm going to get the totals and place them in here, and we'll know what each class had for a total amount spent per phone call. Okay, I did the addition, so here's what we know from our results. We know that the freshman's total bill was $12.40. Here's our sophomores, here's our juniors, and here's our seniors. So what we know is that the juniors are leading the charge with $15.65. They have a follow-up question here that we're supposed to resolve as well. So it says there are 100 freshmen, there are 180 sophomores, 250 juniors, and 300 seniors that use their cell phones at Allison School. Use our survey results to estimate the total number of text messages sent, pictures, and minutes used on a cell phone each week by these students, and express your answers as a matrix. Sorry, I got an interruption. Did some remodeling here so I could see the table. This time we're supposed to figure out the total number of text, pictures, and minutes used on the cell phone each week by each of these students. So what we're going to do by each of these classes, what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we take, for every freshman, there's 100 freshmen, so we want to take 100 times the 20 texts. So we'd have to take this times 100, we'd have to take the pictures times 100, we'd have to take their calls by 100. The sophomore class, a little bit larger, we'd have to take 180 times each of their averages, and so on, and then we'd have to do 250 juniors. So what I'm trying to get you to think about is, how can we get the total amount represented by a matrix? What we want to make sure is we take our freshman class and take it times our 100 that we have, times our freshman matrix, and we want to add it to our 180 students by our sophomore matrix, plus we have 250 juniors times our junior matrix, and then plus 300 seniors times our, I'll go SR for our senior matrix. So what we want to do is we want to take 100 times our freshman text, pictures, and calls. So that's 100 times our 20 for text, our 3 for pictures, and our 163 minutes. Plus, now we want 180 times our sophomores, and our sophomores have a row matrix of 25, 4, and 170. Our juniors is 250 times their matrix of usage, which is 15, 7, and 178. And I have to wrap it around with our seniors, so plus 300 times our senior, which is 22, 3, and 190. So we're going to do our scalar multiplication. We're going to then add them all up, and we're going to see our total usage in terms of how many texts, pictures, and minutes used. I'll do those calculations, come back. Okay, I went ahead and did the scalar multiplication and multiplied every matrix times 100, and then the next matrix is 180, and so on. Now we do the calculations for summing all of these corresponding parts. So what I want to do is add corresponding elements. So I want to take all of the row 1, column 1, add them up, and so on. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to do all those calculations and come back. Okay, I did all the addition, and one of the things I noticed when I was doing my addition, I had that 2,000 written incorrectly. I had 200 in there, but I corrected that. And what we ended up with, the freshmen had a total of 16,850, or the total for the entire school is 16,850 text messages, 3,670 pictures, and 148,400 minutes of cell phone time.